You know, it gets a little difficult when you are literally representing up to 15,000 people who look to lose their job the minute that this potentially becomes a reality. It is very difficult when you appear on behalf of a region that has the highest unemployment, one of the highest in the state, has the highest foreclosure in the country, that has, through its hard work and off the backs of our hospitality industry, generated hundreds of millions of dollars for the state that has left our region. And when you look at this right now, I've been studying this for over 4 years, since I was first elected to not just represent the area that I represent, but to also work with everybody throughout the state and try to educate one another and make sure that whatever decisions we make, they're thoughtful, that we look them through. So I have gone over study after study after study to try to find that way to say, hey, look, you know what, we can build a casino outside of Atlantic City, and it can benefit the state as a whole. And now let's work together to try to make that happen. And all of the studies that I've reviewed and everything that I've indicated is that it is ill-advised, ill-informed, and ill-timed right now to move forward with it, not just for Atlantic City. And I know that when you hear somebody from a certain district, your natural inclination is to turn him off because he's parochial and he's speaking about just a certain region. But I want to share with you the studies and the actual facts. And I very much respect Chairman Caputo and have had the privilege to serve with him over the past few years. And you heard from the horse's mouth that there is no study that he relies upon, there is no study that has been done, and therefore whatever comes out of his mouth is simply an opinion, and one that he is certainly entitled to. And I think it was Ben Franklin who said we're all entitled to our own opinions, but not our own facts. And so here are the facts. In 2007, the Christian Capital Advisory Study on behalf of the Meadowlands found that the primary market for, at this time they were looking at video lottery terminals, was a primary market for the Atlantic City casinos. In other words, what they found is that in 2007, if you open it in the Meadowlands, your primary customers are going to come from Atlantic City, and therefore you're going to cannibalize. That starts in 2007. In 2010, the Casino Association of New Jersey did a study, and it said 45% of the gaming revenue will come from Atlantic City, resulting in the entire New Jersey casino industry having a net loss. And I think this is very important. Going back to 2010, when you look at the state as a whole, the studies and the experts tell us you're looking at a net loss of 3,800 jobs throughout the state and 190 million in lost wages, winding up diverting $45 million from services from our seniors and our disabled. In 2014, as we get closer, an independent study was done, and it was done by Stockton University, our own state university. And what they found is that 2 North Jersey casinos will close an additional 2 Atlantic City casinos, thereby reducing your gaming revenue from $350 to $500 million, putting another 10,000 families out of work. Well, why is this study important? Because if we know from the experts that you're going to lose $350 to $500 million in gaming revenue that you're already dependent upon, and the new casinos that you plan on opening are estimated at 250 to 500 million. All you have succeeded in doing is cannibalizing a market that you've invested millions of dollars in throughout the years to want it to succeed, which certainly contradicts everything that we would want to do. So if we look now to how, let's say, it would be ill-conceived, one of the things that we have to remember is casino gaming, and I love the casino operators. Boy, you talk about a duplicitous, corporate, greedy breed of people. You won't find more corporate greed and more self-interest than you find from the casino executives, and I've seen it firsthand. Now, the reality is when they first show up, they promise you everything in the world. They just offer to build a casino, Caesars did, in New York at $880 million after they closed a profitable casino right here in Atlantic City. They're promising the world to New York, just as they're promising the world to North Jersey. But the reality is, if you look at where the need is for economic development, which is the whole point of casino gaming in the first place, was about economic development. And you look at Bergen County is 4.6, Hudson is at 5.4%. Atlantic County is basically double that at over 8%. Cape May County is at 8.8 and Cumberland's at 7.4. I point that out just to remind everybody that certainly within each geographical region, we want to do better. And I get it, and I don't blame you. But we also have to be realistic. We have to look at what's for the state's best interest and also for this one region that has carried the ball for so long. Now, just to be a voice for the people that I represent down here in Atlantic County, one of the things that we brought with us is we have over 2,500 signed petitions from families throughout South Jersey opposing North Jersey casinos. I am not only testifying on their behalf, and it goes up to over thousands of families, but also this national level foreclosure rate that is now going on in Atlantic County. When we look at Atlantic County, we say, okay, we want to use casinos for an economic development tool. Where should we put it? Well, Atlantic County has just lost 10,000 jobs when the casinos closed. According to OLS, Atlantic County has suffered through the most layoffs in state history. Atlantic County ranks among the bottom of the state in the jobless rate, and it continues to have the highest foreclosure. So when we look at these independent studies, I think we have to also analyze them in what is our goal of casino gaming in the state of New Jersey. What's the policy? Why are we allowing this vice to creep into our state? And it's obviously should be economic development, provide jobs, opportunity. And if we don't even have a study to prove that it's going to do that by competing with ourselves, it only makes sense that we wouldn't do it. When we talk about, and lastly, when we're going over the benefit, why would we want to put a casino in North Jersey if the economic development in the picture for its success is grim? And you wouldn't say, take my word for it. Unfortunately, many on the other side, they don't show up with studies or cites or quotes. They just say, take my word for it. But I will give you the words of others. In 2014, Don Ballman, the general manager of Harrah's in Chester, PA, said the casino market is tapped out and that another casino in Philadelphia is unwarranted. It's a defined market. We're at that point where we're just moving customers around, all of us. I don't see that changing with a new site near the stadium or anywhere else. Furthermore, when you look at others through the Pennsylvania legislative branch, they concluded that whenever a new casino opens up, it simply becomes within its neighborhood and it pulls from its neighboring casinos, and therefore that defined market, they recognize that. When you look at former Democrat state senator and author of the Casino Control Act and the Casino Control Commission chairman, Steve Persky, expanding gaming in North Jersey is going to do nothing other than contribute even more to the political necessity of New York. I am almost done, I promise. And Sheldon Adelson, we mentioned his comments earlier, and that simply, and here we're talking about America's largest casino company, said that New York will look at a Meadowlands casino and say, we got to open in New York and keep the money in New York and do it quickly. So when we go over this and we're honest with ourselves, it seems only reasonable, and what reasonable business people would do, what reasonable leaders of any company would do, and certainly it appears what reasonable leaders of the state of New Jersey would do, and that is make sure that we know the facts, We know what exactly it is that we're voting on. We know the benefits and the detriments. And then we move forward and have an open public discussion on whether or not this is going to benefit us or not. But I will respectfully ask the chairman, on behalf of over 15,000 families who are looking to lose their job, on top of the 10,000 families that have already lost their job, I would ask you to table this motion.
How do you vote? Yes or no?
I vote no. Thank you, Chair.